Hello and welcome to another episode of Gully Cricket to
Oh,
Bouncy Wicket podcast. I'm your host Srinivas.
hi, this is Manoj.
A lot of things have happened from the time we recorded our last episode. Virat Kohli has announced about his captaincy first from the T20 internationals and now with IPL, and New Zealand has withdrawn from the Pakistan series in the last moment, and IPL has started and COVID has hit IPL already. So how has your week been, and have you been following all these things?
Yeah, I was quite looking forward to IPL because, with the disappointment of fifth test not happening in England, I was looking forward to IPL. But Virat Kohli came up with this bomb I was not even expecting, and double bomb, to be honest. To
Yeah.
give up T20 captaincy and then again RCB captaincy. This will be his last IPL as captain. Quite a shocker for me. Um but yeah, happy that IPL has begun and we can have some fun in the evenings, excitement and fun in the evenings with
I,
uh, which will relieve some of the work pressure that we have
yeah.
in the day to
So
day.
I would say this is a week of conspiracy theories because there
Hmm.
were a lot of theories
True.
coming before
Yeah.
Virat Kohli has announced, and after he has announced, there were some more rumor mills that were running. And when New Zealand has pulled out from Pakistan, then everyone started saying, BCCI has intervened and asked New Zealand to withdraw from the series. So more players can play IPL, and subsequently England will withdraw from the series, and people can play, or England players can play IPL till the end. So this has been a week of conspiracy theories, if we can call so. But before we get into IPL, of course, that is going to be the biggest topic for today's episode, and for which both of us are also quite excited. But before we get into that, talk us more about Virat Kohli's, captaincy announcement. It has come to you as a shock, or what was your first reaction when you read that?
Absolutely shocked because I know obviously there's a lot of workload because captaining all three formats is difficult, but I'm quite sure his family might have played a big role in this decision because he's a young family. He just, they had the first daughter, and then maybe could be family reasons playing a big role in this decision. I don't really believe in those theories where they have players have a rift. I know a lot of theories are floating around, but I don't really believe in that. So yeah, quite shocked, but
Yeah.
understandable by the way.
Yeah, like you said, if you look at the stage of life that he is in, like he got a baby recently and he's also growing, and he's not in his best batting form, you can say, if not, batting form at all. Like, of course, he's batting well, and in the 8 innings that we see in England, he has scored 250s and 240s. If it is some other batsman, we would not even look at, his form or his strike rate or his averages. Only because he is Virat Kohli, we are really looking deep into it. But right, like you mentioned, he has a baby recently. It must be a decision taken together, with his family, probably, because playing in all the three formats and captaining all the three formats and IPL. I mean, we can easily say India probably will play more than 10 months out of the 12 months.
True,
And
true.
to be on constant work pressure all the time, like it's literally impossible for anyone to continue doing that. And I'm quite happy till the time the decision has been taken by him without anyone forcing him to do so. And I
Uh,
really hope that was true. I mean, there are, like you mentioned, as well, lot of articles are coming, lot of things are coming. We don't know which one to believe, which one not to believe, because people say BCCI have asked him to step down because Rohit has to take over the captaincy and all these things. But I don't really believe those things, and I literally don't think BCCI has any involvement in this, because knowing Saurav Ganguly, at least he played as a, you can say, player, or you can say captain who has the whole power over the team, right? I can't imagine Saurav Ganguly pushing, Virat Kohli into sidelines and saying, Rohit Sharma or someone else is going to take over the captaincy. And literally, if you ask me, there is no one else who is ready to take over the captaincy in the current position. Of course, Rohit is there, but Rohit is also not young. He is 34 plus, and maybe probably 1 year he'll take care. But it's high time that we groom someone for the captaincy. I really don't believe that BCCI has a lot of involvement in his decision. And if it is the case, really he would not have done that for RCB as well, right? At least to
True.
show
Yeah.
to
Yeah.
the, to prove to the everyone that it is BCCI has done this, he would not have given up the RCB's captaincy. Probably it would have been better had he announced RCB's decision first and then T20Is. Probably it would have made more sense. But doing it other way around, probably he would have thought he'll discuss one more time face to face after meeting RCB management and after reaching Dubai, and that would have made the announcement other way around. But nevertheless, if like I mentioned already, if it is his own decision, then I'm really happy. If it is not being taken with the force of someone else, because people are telling different things, and there is one argument, Manoj.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, even in the WhatsApp group, myself and Raja had been discussing, quite some time regarding the announcement or timing of the
Right.
announcement. So, your
Right.
thoughts on timing of the announcement?
Well, I see T20 makes sense in terms of, I mean, it really it doesn't impact the team as such, but I personally felt it would have been nice if he had announced that he will step down after this tournament. I mean, after the IPL is finished. Uh, well, it has its pros and cons. Knowing that this will be the last IPL, I think team will be motivated to give their best. That would be one way of seeing it. The other way is, well, they will not have any, they will not have any pressure of, not having Kohli again, so it has its own pros and cons. But I personally would have felt good if he had announced it after the IPL.
Yeah. So, like, I think by this time you would have understood saying my argument in the, our team
True,
between us.
true, true, true.
So I thought it is no harm, like you mentioned, both sides has its own pros and cons. Even I was watching the CricBuzz video where Harsha Bhogle also said this regarding timing. There is always positives and negatives of both the sides, and it depends on how team is going to take it forward. RCB is also, it's not like players or young people. There are enough experienced people to, drive
Right,
the series from here and make sure that it
right.
is not affecting. Anyway, I mean, nothing much can be done by us now that he has announced already. So let's get into our favorite topic, IPL. So Manoj, IPL has started, and some teams, if you ask me, are taking it as a fresh tournament, and some teams are taking it as second part of the first this year's IPL. Let me explain. So Mumbai thought it was a fresh season and they lost the first match, right? That's what they do usually. So
Right,
KKR
right.
forgot completely what they have done in the first half. They were failing miserably and
True,
they
true.
came up really well. And if you see,
Agree.
RR thought it was old season, definitely. Otherwise, Sanju Samson would have scored a century in the first match, right?
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
So similarly, Punjab, they kept on inventing from the last season, how to lose a match, right? How to lose a match from nowhere. It's their match all the way, and
Absolutely.
maybe in the last 1 hour or 2 hours, they'll find a way to lose the match. Really baffling, if you ask me. So again,
True.
CSK, when all this is happening, that's army, all matured people, you can say, they said you can do whatever you want. We'll only take the match to the back end of the innings and then we'll win the match. We'll score the runs. We'll play, in our own style. So
True,
lots of
true.
things has happened in the first 3 days itself. So let's look match by match, Manoj.
Sure,
Let's start
sure.
with probably match 30th of the IPL season 2021, or we can say second half first match. So again, if you look at Chennai's team, I think it's a standard template. I don't think there is too much to debate or discuss about the team. Of course, they got Hazelwood this time around because last time he was not present when IPL was happening in India. So it's good to see
Right.
Hazelwood back into the team. And other than that, Rituraj Gaikwad, Faf du Plessis, Moeen Ali, Raidu, Raina, Dhoni, I think it's pretty much their standard template, right?
Absolutely. Absolutely. I mean, they went with the expected team, but in spite of, most of the batsmen not doing well, they managed to win the match, which is really great. They bowled really well, right? I mean,
Uh,
yeah, you were saying.
Yeah, and surprisingly, Mumbai rested Rohit Sharma. Probably they have mentioned he's fine, he's up and he's taking up the training, but whatever that slight injury he had in the England during the Test match series, probably they thought it will be better if they rest him for one more match. And yeah, other than that, they also pretty much went with the almost same team, right? They got Anmol Preet Singh a chance in place of Rohit Sharma. Other than that, they had a pretty much straight team. So let's get into the toss. So MS Dhoni won the toss and then he decided to bat. It was it was obvious. It was a hard pitch, a lot of grass on that, and they have to take the match slow. But not definitely. Even Dhoni would not have expected that match will go in this direction. And if you look at the scorecard, if you see, I think probably how many we can see three zeros in top six,
Yes,
right? Three
yes,
zeros
three
in
ducks.
top
Yeah.
six. And by the time power play got over, CSK was down for 24 for 4. And in fact, it was 24 for 5 because Raidu was injured, right?
Right.
And no one would have expected this start of this kind, especially. I was actually about to tweet saying, no, this is not the kind of, first match of IPL that I wanted to see. But I thought, okay, let's see what CSK has to do from here. From there, Jadeja and Rituraj Gaikwad stitched a beautiful partnership. So your thoughts? What were you thinking when CSK were down for 24 for 4?
Yeah, I thought they will not even cross 100 because Mumbai was bowling really well. To be honest, they were right on the money. So I think Jadeja and Bravo, with their effort and obviously Gaikwad's effort, they reached 156. But I thought still that would not be enough on this wicket. But Mumbai, I mean, the lack of these big guns was really felt. Rohit Sharma, Hardik Pandya, all these big guns were not there, and we could clearly see that without them, they were not at their best. They wickets fell. They gave the wickets cheaply. So I would say I think the teams are still sort of getting into the groove because they've just arrived, finished the quarantine. First, I think it'll take one or two couple of matches to get into the groove and start performing. Is what I feel. Overall, Mumbai didn't perform to its potential.
Yeah, but let's look a bit more about Chennai's batting. From where Jadeja has left. I think Jadeja got out when CSK were 105 and probably 6 wickets down, you can say, with again Raidu not able to come to the batting, and only 4 overs were left by the time. I think probably 3.5 overs were left. From there, Bravo has come. He has hit 3 sixes. He has scored 23 of 8 balls. He's obviously coming high of confidence. His team has won in the Caribbean Premier League as well. He was a captain there. He has finished probably his 500th T20 match, or I think something like that. So Rituraj Gaikwad, man, what an innings that he has played for. I mean, he's not even made his India debut properly. He made in Sri Lanka, but he's still very young, and see the kind of innings that he has played, the way he has paced his innings, the kind of shots that he has played, amazing. He has scored 88 of 58 in valuable runs, right? I mean, if Ruturaj Gaikwad had got out early, or probably Quinton de Kock has actually dropped his catch, if he had got out early, I think this match would have been, I mean, probably CSK would have been 70-80 all out. We never know. I mean, it would have been quite different match altogether.
Sure.
And like you mentioned, Mumbai was not at their best. Obviously, I mean, CSK kept taking wickets at regular intervals. They haven't allowed anyone to build partnerships. Of course, Saurabh Tiwari got struck at one end, but again, CSK had made sure that no one is building partnership around him.
True.
So even though he was at the end without being not out, but CSK had made sure that they have got their 2 points safely home, right?
Right. I mean, they looked rusty. The star players didn't perform. Sky didn't perform well. I mean, a lot of batsmen got the starts, but they could not convert, and the run rate was piling up, and they couldn't do much. I would say, yeah, better performance was expected from Mumbai. I hope they will improve from the next game.
Yeah, like we said, they thought it was the first match of the tournament, right? They thought they can start slow, but unfortunately, this is second half of the tournament. And bravo, man! Like we mentioned, he's coming high of confidence, and it is very much visible, isn't it? He has bowled 4 overs.
Yes.
He gave only 25 runs away, and he took 3 wickets. Amazing.
Yeah. I mean, he's picked
Yeah.
from where he left off in CPL. Like you said, is coming off high confidence and taking that momentum into this game as well. So kudos to him. Yeah, all in all, kudos to CSK.
Yeah.
For starting of the tournament with the win.
Yeah, with a brilliant win, right? No one would have expected, and no one would have asked for a better start.
Yeah.
So let's move on to next match, Manoj. I really like this match, not for seeing, just for sake of our episode, because we can just quickly run away from this episode, from this match, and talk about the next. It is really helping us to do the time management, right?
Absolutely.
So again, I don't know what to say. I mean, RCB, like they say,
clueless.
So they play two different kinds of games. I don't know. This is an odd day for them. We can only say that they were playing really well at the start of the tournament, previous half, and I really hope they'll pick from the next match. And their next match is against CSK, and CSK is looking very strong. So
True.
Let's see what they have to bring. But let's look at a bit about what happened in this match against Kolkata Knight Riders, right? Ideally, Kolkata Knight Riders must be coming with very low confidence, and RCB, they must be coming with high of confidence, because they somehow found their winning combination. RCB in the first leg of the series, and KKR were really scratchy in the first 7 matches. So again, RCB has come to batting. They could not put a good partnership. Kohli got out in the second over, and then just before end of power play, Padikkal got out. Right. Even if you look at score at the end of power play, it was 41 for 2. From there on, definitely it's not a pitch of 92. Right. From there on, they scored only 92. So your thoughts on RCB batting?
I mean, they obviously Kohli didn't get off to the start. After Kohli got out, I think it was quite a start. I mean, Shrikar Bharat, right, and also Devdutt Padikkal, they got starts but not convert. And also middle order was a collapse. Brilliant ball to get ABD out from Dreras, and even the newcomers Hasranga could not contribute. I mean. Great work by Chakravarti. He bowled really well.
Great, amazing bowling, man. Amazing.
He mixed
kind
the
of
balls
pace
up.
Variation, and with the kind of technique that he has, with the kind of pace that he is bowling with. I mean,
the batsmen are finding it really difficult to pick his balls, which way they're going, because he'll mix his balls up and then some other straight ones. So I mean, bad performance, bad show. The very first game, the Karnataka fans will be really disappointed with this. Hope they can turn the tables from next match and get to that winning streak.
Yeah. And KKR, obviously, when you see the score of 92 on the board, I mean, nothing much can be done by RCB bowlers, right? Irrespective of the pitch condition, unless some miracle happens, it's KKR's match. At the same time, Shubman Gill and Venkatesh Iyer, debutant, both of them used the situation, right? They have played brilliantly, and it's not that they have paced it slowly as well. They have finished the match in 10 overs. And Shubman Gill was actually looking scratchy in the first half of the tournament. He came back in style, and then Venkatesh Iyer, debutant, right? He scored at a strike rate of 150. So amazing skill by both of them, and they finished off easily. And finally, KKR had earned 2 points, right?
Yeah, obviously they didn't have the scoreboard pressure of scoring maybe 10 runs per hour, so they took it. I mean, they played their shots, didn't let the loose ball go. So all in all, it was easy for KKR getting to 92.
So let's move on to your favorite match, probably RR versus PBKS. So you, being an RR fan, must be disappointed most of the time during the match. Other than what, I mean, finally you can say RR had the last laugh.
I couldn't believe. Yeah. Mm.
So Manoj, Rajasthan Royals started batting. They opened with Evan Lewis and SSV Jaiswal. So your thoughts on how Royals batting went?
A brilliant performance. It was better than expected. The very first game, most teams could be rusty, but they looked very good. Levis, was explosive at the beginning. It was very impressive innings. Also well supported by Jaiswal. It was a controlled innings from the youngster. Though the captain Samsung didn't do well, I think the youngsters really did well. I mean, if you look at Livingstone, eh, it was a runnable kind of an innings, but I'm pretty impressed with Mahipal Lomror, the kind of shots he played. He was clearing the spinners easily. Mighty impressed with this kid. Though others could not contribute, but with the start they got, they could have easily got to 200, but yeah, content
Yeah,
with 185.
I think we should say PBKS has pulled back really well in the last end of the innings, right? In the last
True,
4 overs of their innings, they considered only 21 runs, which was amazing. Like if you see at the end of 16th over, RR score was 169. So from 169, they could only put 185, which was, nothing. If you look at, kind of start that they have got. Like you mentioned, SSV Jaiswal, amazing man. He really missed a well-deserved 50. Probably the nerves of reaching 50 would have affected him. After he reached 40, his game has become slow, and
slow.
still then he was scoring well. Probably, he's very young, and I'm sure Rajasthan Royals will give him many more chances. And again, once he got out, then again it was Mahipal Lomrar all over, right? Amazing piece of batting. Just see the kind of sixes that he has hit, that he has been hitting. Kind of the way or the ability to clear the ropes was amazing. Probably quite disappointed with the total that they have got 185. They would have got 200 easily, like you said.
Yes,
But
yes.
185 is definitely not a bad score, right?
Yeah, on that wicket, it was not a bad score. They would have liked to score over 200, but we should congratulate Arshdeep Singh for his, death bowling, because if not for him, they would have easily got 200.
Yeah,
Great
definitely.
skills
Great
he
skill, man. Great
displayed. Yeah.
control. The way Arshdeep Singh controls his bowling length, speeds, amazing, amazing talent. In fact, he has
Yep.
become like Bumrah for Mumbai Indians, if you ask me. Frankly,
True.
some people may think this is like overrated statement, but
Yeah, death bowling is never easy. I
definitely
mean,
he is going to be very good prospect for India.
yeah, a bright prospect for
Yeah,
India. Absolutely.
yeah. So let's look at how Punjab has started. They started brilliantly, man. They would not have asked anything more from Rajasthan Royals, right? They have dropped Rahul 3 times. So KL Rahul would not have asked anything more from Rajasthan Royals. Forget about the
Yes.
task, forget about anything. They have dropped in 3 times, very sloppy fielding. I mean, if other teams were looking rusty in batting, bowling, Rajasthan Royals look really rusty in fielding. So
I'm
yeah,
back.
KL Rahul started really well. Yeah, Rahul started really well, and Mayank, you can say, started a little slow, but somehow he got rhythm in between, and he started taking over from KL Rahul, and he scored amazing, man, amazing piece of half century that he has got, and you can literally see the hunger for runs in Mayank Rahul. Mayank Agarwal, right? So you can
True.
see that he has been traveling with the Indian team for quite some time, not getting enough chances. Of course, it wasn't test matches, but still, like you can that kind of hunger that a batsman should have. Mayank Agarwal is everything, and to gift him some more runs, you can say Samson has brought spinners when Mayank Agarwal was batting. That was, I think, really bad move to do, because Mayank Agarwal, if you ask me, is arguably one of the best players of spin in the country right now.
Sure.
So overall, finally, they got KL Rahul at 49, but by that time, a lot of damage has been done, right? So at the end of probably 12 overs, Punjab has already reached 120, and hardly they need 8 runs per over, 7 runs per over. There was no pressure. And Aiden Makram has come, and then Mayank Agarwal got out immediately, and then Nicholas Puran has come. So it was a phase where RR would have, smelled some kind of sense that they can get into the game, but these two have batted brilliantly, right? Your thoughts on how Eden Markram and Nicholas Puran batted there?
They were, I mean, I don't know. It looked like they will win this match with an over to spare. I don't know what actually happened. I mean, great batting. I mean, Puran looked in good touch, although Markram was not. I mean, it was okay. But I'm really surprised that they couldn't finish this match. I mean, they were only 2 down and they were sailing along, and all of a sudden there was, I would say, I don't know how to describe it. That's what
Actually,
happened. That happened to BBKs.
after probably 15 overs or so, I've left watching. Actually,
Yeah,
I was just
yeah,
following score through Kickbuzz, and I thought, okay, it was an easy match, and then I was doing some other things at home. So when it was only 2 hours left, I thought, okay, I'll see the winning moments, and then I'll switch off. Then I watched penultimate over. Mustafiz bowled really well. He gave only 4 runs, and 4 runs needed with 8 wickets in hand. Who would have thought, Punjab Kings is going to lose this match, and especially when Karthik Tyagi is, coming to bowling. I think in the initial 3 overs that he has bowled, he has given 28 runs.
right.
And Chetan
Right.
Sekaria has got an over left, but again, he was also not quite in good touch, you can say, in the match. So I don't know what RR was thinking, whether they were really thinking that they had a chance in this match. I'm really not sure, but amazing piece of bowling by Karthik Tyagi. Your thoughts?
Yeah, if it not for him, they would have lost it. Amazing last over. You could see the line he was bowling. He was bowling wide to the stumps. He was bowling wide outside off. He got Puran out, and then he got Huda out, and that was it. That sealed the match. I mean, last ball 4 runs. They could not do it. Amazing. Cricket is a funny game, and it proved again.
And Punjab Kings, like I said, has given us, another way of losing the match, right?
Right.
Even in the first half, you can always see them, being in the game till probably last moment,
Right.
and then all of a sudden something happens to them, and then they lose the match.
Yeah. I mean, just get into the shoes of KL Rahul. I mean, how disappointed you would have been, because for the most part of the innings, they must have thought they'll win this with an over to spare, but by the end of it, they are on the other side of the team. So pretty disappointing for KL Rahul.
Yeah. Hopefully they'll find a way to win the matches to make the tournament more interesting, at least. Of course, they are making it interesting by losing as well. That's the talent that they have right now. But for the sake of Punjab fans, let's hope they'll win few more matches in the series that in the balance of the series. So let's look at the next match, Manoj. We have, as we speak, the match is going on between Delhi and Hyderabad. Delhi team, with the presence of Iyer, somehow it was looking all of a sudden a different, well-balanced team, right? Because of the Iyer's absence, there was a lot of, you can say, balance missing somewhere. They were trying to figure out whom to play as a fourth foreign player, whom to play as an all-rounder, and all these things. Suddenly, if you look at how the team is looking right now, it was amazing piece of it was amazing the kind of balance that they have had.
True.
And we have heard the news that Natarajan has been tested COVID positive, and then 6 of the people who are deemed to be close to him have been quarantined as well. Vijay Shankar has also been quarantined. I'm not sure where this is going to end, because I hope they are having a strict bubble in UAE, but somehow we could not escape COVID. So I don't know how or where it is going to lead, and I really hope we'll get a full tournament. But yeah, of course, that will hamper the balance of the Hyderabad team, which is already suffering. But yeah, your thoughts on how Hyderabad innings went?
Well, they looked rusty, to be honest. The the ball that got one out was a peach of a delivery. Amazing delivery by Nauthier. But yeah, Saha played a rash shot. He shouldn't have played it. Williamson too got out to a spinner.
I think
And
it
yeah.
was surprising, right? Williamson, I mean, he has been dropped 2 times in the previous 5 balls, and him giving another chance was literally surprising to me.
I mean, I think they were desperate for runs because they didn't. I mean, in the power play, they couldn't get many runs, and because being at the bottom of the table, there was a lot of pressure to sort of put a big total on the board and put the opposition under pressure. So they were trying to get some quick runs, I think. But yeah, Williamson is a player who will take his time. Yeah, very unlike Williamson today. I mean, I really don't know why Manish Pandey is not performing to his potential. He has so much talent, but not playing to his potential. Kedar Jadhav, obviously, he's the one who must stuff stabilized and then went for the. I mean, we would have bludgeoned in the later part, but didn't happen. Samad played a good knock, but then 134 is below par on
yeah,
any track.
If Holder would have supported Samad for some more time, definitely Samad would have scored some more runs, right? He is really aggressive player, and he has kind of ability to hit any ball. So like you said, again, they looked really rusty, and they would have got maybe another 20-30 runs had they played well.
True. 160 was absolutely gettable, but then 134 is way below par.
Below par, definitely against this DC
strong
team.
Delhi lineup.
Yeah,
definitely.
they had very strong lineup, and let's look at where Delhi is right now as we speak again. So Prithvi Shah got out early. He got out on 11. He is my captain in fantasy league. He really betrayed me today. Then he got out on 11. Then Shikhar Dhawan and Shreyas Iyer are playing, and their score at the end of 5 overs is 29. But I don't think it's game for SRH unless they really bowl well or something happens. Your thoughts?
True. Yeah, this I mean, nothing to worry because they have very good slog hitters as well in their team with Marcus Stoinis and Hetmeyer coming, and there's Akshar Patel as well who can hit the ball out of the park. So no worries. I think it should be an easy game for Delhi, unless something magical happens from
something happens
bowlers.
like yesterday. Right?
Yesterday.
So let's hope we'll get many more good matches, and let's catch up again. Probably we'll try to make an episode on Monday or so. So we'll get more matches covered because I think this weekend we have two matches. So I mean,
double headers,
double headers. So let's hope we'll get more interesting matches. Let's hope Punjab will start winning, and let's hope teams at the bottom of the table start winning, right? So that's what happen. So that will make the whole tournament more interesting.
Little interesting, right? Absolutely agree with
you. I think already right now, Rajasthan Royals and Mumbai Indians are on same points, but Mumbai had a better run rate. So it's all about one win now. Who will win one game extra? So that's already interesting. If KKR and Punjab also starts winning more matches, then the whole tournament is going to be very interesting. And of course, I'm not expecting anything much from SRH this time around. They somehow look a little rusty. Raja may be upset, or he would have defended had he been
on the show.
Episode. But since he is not there, let me take the opportunity to say SRH is almost ruled out of the tournament.
Yeah, you'd be pretty disappointed. Yeah.
So let's catch up in the next episode, and that's all for today's episode. Please do subscribe to our YouTube channel and do leave your review on Apple Podcast if you are listening to this on any of the Apple platforms, and follow us on Spotify and Google Podcasts to get notified when we release a new episode. Thanks for tuning in, and stay tuned for more such interesting episodes.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.